Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
A bullshit?
Have you ever had to explain something simple to a small child and they just can't grasp it? We're in that position with the President of the United States.
President Donald Trump called on Republicans to, quote, take over the voting in at least 15 places, re-upping his unfounded claims that undocumented immigrants illegally vote for Democrats.
Okay, I'm going to go through this just one more time for reasonable, smart people who've been hearing this kind of thing and want to be able to judge for themselves. The claim that non-citizens vote in any meaningful amount or that those votes could have affected any election outcomes is completely false. Study after study of non-citizen voting has found that it's extremely rare. The most comprehensive looked at 23.5 million votes in areas with high immigrant populations and found just 30 cases of suspected non-citizen voting. That's 0.0001%. For comparison, you're 5 times more likely to be struck by lightning or to be attacked by a shark. You're more likely to die in a sharknado.
They're sharks. They're scary.
In Georgia, a 2022 audit was unable to identify a single instance of a non-citizen casting a ballot. Now, some of you might be saying, wait, I've heard that up to 27% of non-citizens are illegally registered to vote. What about that? That claim is based on a single paper from 2014 by a political scientist named Jesse Richmond. And after other researchers pointed out that he'd made some errors, he issued a correction saying, okay, maybe 1% of non-citizens are registered to vote. And when experts looked at that, they found that his data actually showed the likely percent of non-citizen voters in recent U.S. elections is pretty much zero. But setting aside facts and math for a moment, just think about this logically. It's illegal for people who are not U.S. citizens to vote. Registering to vote loses them the ability to ever become U.S. citizens. The very rare cases that happen leave a clear paper trail. Given how badly these people want to be in this country, why would they commit such an obvious crime on purpose where they're super likely to get caught and that's so extremely unlikely to work? Since states regularly verify voter registration information and remove ineligible voters from voter rolls. But even though none of this makes any sense, Republicans do have an incentive to keep pushing things like the SAVE Act, which requires Americans to show even more paperwork than they're already required to in order to register. More than 21 million Americans are unable to access those additional documents. And since those American citizens are disproportionately from voting groups that are more likely to vote for Democrats, you see the motivation. The myth of non-citizen voting is a useful lie, but that doesn't mean that we have to be useful idiots. Just reject this particularly insidious piece of bullshit once and for all.